Okay, just to explain the formula for calculating our match. To the price. I've got 210 here, 210 there. Okay, so I've copied this formula, so I'm going to go to here, I'm going to go to E4, which I think is E4, which is where it came from on that page, so put that there. Now this is the hardest part to do, because with the if formula combined with vLookup, it looks pretty confusing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just leave that there for now. Got no results, but I'm going to make just a dummy set of searches. So I'm going to have a range here, so we'll call it give it a name, so we'll call it test 1. And I'm going to give it a color so that I can tell what the range is. I'll make another one, and what did I call that? I called it, let's try it again. I called it test 1. So I'll make another one here, give that a color, pale color, so I don't know, there's no pale yellow, but anyway, call that test 2. Do another one, call it test 3. Give it another color, greenish one. Okay, so that's test 1. Okay, so I've got 3 ranges. Test 1, test. So I'm going to put some random values in here. I'll put A, B, C. Maybe if I put a 1 on the end. So I call it DF1. So we call that one equals random times 500. Better give it a format so it's not too huge. Copy that. Copy that, and then better paste it. Just those values. Okay, so I'm going to put a value here. I'll call it A, B, C. 19. Okay, so we're going to go if. Sorry, we'll just go vLookup. vLookup. VLookup is that one. Table of the array. We're going to try test one first. So put test one. That's our first. I know it's in there. We're going to get a true result. So column index number. So the number, the column we want is not column 1 but column 2. So we'll put in 2. And then the range lookup. That tells us whether it will look in between values or not, I believe. So we're going to put in false. I think that's going to give us a number. Okay, so it looks right. So we got a true result, 125.35. So that's simple. It's just a simple lookup and it's working right. Okay. Now, the trouble is, you might actually want DEF12. So if I put in DEF19. So I go DEF19, and we don't have a result. So what I can do is I can use the test formula, which is if. Use the if statement. And that will check. So first of all, what I want to do is I want to check to see if I do this, if I look for this and I don't get something, I want to know if it's going to give me a result or not. And the way to do that is to go is error. So if I get a return result for error, so yeah, it is an error. Okay, so if I put ABC, it should, instead of saying true, should say false, because then it won't be an error, because I'm asking here, just asking if I do a vLookup. When I do a vLookup, what's it going to give me? Is it going to give me a true result or a false? So true and a false we can use in an if statement. So if I get a false result, it gives me a true. It gives me, if I don't get a result, if I can't find it, what I'm looking for, DEF will be true, and if I put an ABC instead of a DEF, it should say false. So I'll go ABC. So it gives me a false. That's what I want. It kind of sounds backwards, but when you see the next part, you'll understand why. So I'll go DEF. Gives me a true. So that means I can just use vLookup as a test to give me a true or false, which is what the if statement uses. So if I go in the if statement, if I go if, so we can read across, if I get an error with my vLookup, in other words, if I get a true result, and so if I put a comma and say after the first comma in an if statement, after the first comma of the if statement, because those commas belong to the vLookup statement, so it's confusing to look at, but you've got to try and keep things within the parentheses to understand what you're looking at. Oh, I'm going to sneeze. No, maybe not. Okay, so if I get a true value, I'm going to say okay. Just to help me understand, I'm going to say need to look elsewhere. So what it's going to say is need to look elsewhere instead of true, because true means there was an error. So if it's true, then I need to look elsewhere, otherwise I'm going to repeat the lookup statement to give me the answer I'm looking for. So up to the next bracket, copy that, paste in there, close that. So I need to look elsewhere, because when we're looking in test 1, I've got for DEF 19, okay, it's not there, it's actually in test 2. So if I can't find it in test 1, the alternative to if I don't get an error, then I can look in test 1, but I do get an error, so it means I need to look elsewhere. So I'm going to look in test 1, so test 2, so I'm going to copy that. And then instead of test 1, I'm going to say test 2. Test 2. And of course, because they're all the same size and shape, we're still looking in the second column of test 2. So 76.69, that looks about right. Okay, so need to think about what happens then. If we can't find it in here, then it might be in here. So there we go, DEF, I'll go GHI 19. GHI 19. Okay, so we get that error. So what we need to do now is we need to think, well, we need another test. So we've got, if there's an error, when we look in that one, test 1, then we look in test 2. But what we need to say, if we get an error looking in test 2, we need to look in test 3. So let's do that. So we go if is error, when we look in test 2, so we put a closing bracket for the is error, and then now we're in the if functions, so we need to do vLookup test 3, so we go vLookup T6 in test 3, column 2, and we don't want an in-between match, we want an exact match. Should do it. Oh, need another bracket. Spot. See if we can put it there and get away with it. No. Okay, this is where it gets complicated. Okay, I found the error. problem was I hadn't named the range test3, so that's why we're getting a name error. So just to show you what that means, I'll just hide this. What that looks like if I had called that test4 instead of test3. I call that test4. That's what gives me that. I hadn't actually named it correctly, so if I put in test3, it comes out right. Excuse me. Okay, so what we don't have a check is if we have something that doesn't exist. So if we've got something that doesn't exist, so if I put x19 not available, maybe you want it to say something a bit more intelligible. So I haven't done this in the formula that on the all inverse. I haven't put that option in this formula here, but I'll put it in this one so you get the idea. So if we look at that, so if we go if is error, we'll look up test3. Shall I copy that because I need to paste that? So then I'm going to go not found. Otherwise, I'll look up error test. I'll look up test3, not error test3. Too many arguments for this function. There's error. Okay, we need to put a closing bracket there. Not found. Maybe T would look better. Okay, x19 is not found, but we can find GHI comes up, and we can go we get an answer 76. Yep. ABC comes up. Okay. So what you can do is you can use the return of a vLookup just simply as a test, so long as we put exact match. If we put true here, I think if we look, okay, I think basically we've got it working as we wanted anyway. So, but the trick for, not the trick, but the thing to understand is that you can use, in an if statement, you can use vLookup as to test that you actually can get a result. And by combining that with the if statement, making sure that we use false here, so that, you know, we better look up vLookup. So if I go open one of these, vLookup here, so we're looking for the range lookup. What does that mean? In the range lookup is a logical value to find the closest match in the first column, but it only works if we're sorted in ascending order. True or omitted means to find the closest match. But if we did that, if we had a closest match, if we did that, then we'd get ambiguous results. So for example, if I put in ABC, if I put in, oh no, I don't want to do that. If I put in 18.5, 185, okay, it's going to give me not found, but in here, open these up. Because that's a search for test 1. There's a search for test 2 and there's a search for test 3. Okay, so just to show you, better put it back into 19. Okay, so 19 gives us 1.25, so that's right. And we're searching, because that's just a straight vLookup, nothing else. Okay, so that's just, I made those just to make sure we're getting right answers. Okay, but if I change that to true, and I put in ABC 18185, okay, it didn't work, but in here, if I make this 20, so 19 doesn't exist, so I'll put 19 in there. Yeah. Okay, it gives me an answer, which is 77, so the nearest match is 18, but I put in 19. Okay, and yours setup, you don't want ambiguous answers, you don't want answers that don't give you a false positive. It's saying that yes, I can find ABC 19 if I don't put in that false here. So I'm going to put false back. And okay, so it's telling me there's no result. Just what? Right. So now it's true. Probably overstated it, but anyway, that's how you construct it. There's probably other ways. There might be easier ways of doing it, but when you're looking at it, you can sort of see where you are. So we're looking at it in this area. So the value for his error is this. The logical test. That if, logical test for that if is that. The true value is that whole section, and the false value is that section. So if we do it on this one, false value for the first if is right at the end. See, we're looking at test 1. If it's an error, we've got that whole section. If it's true that this is an error, because this is the test, is error for the vertical vLookup. Yeah, so I hope you can follow that. By clicking on here, you can see what belongs to where, but they do their best to make it easy. Oops. Alright, I hope that's not too confusing. Have fun with it.